let's continue working on the course details page, and in this lesson we're gonna work on the second part, this right block, which is going to contain list of course blocks. At the top of this block I'm going to show the amount of lessons in this course as well as total duration of the course. And let's also use mid dot in between these elements. I'm also going to increase the font size as well as make the font semi-bold. And let's align the text to the right side. We're seeing that alignment hasn't properly worked as we expect, and that is because we have to allow parent container to stretch as well, and we can do it with the help of grow class. Now that we have fixed this alignment, I'm going to add some markup to the lesson block. We're going to use two span elements. At the bottom, I'll add h3 element, which is going to store the title of the lesson. And before going any further with this lesson block, let's just change this element on h3. It will be kind of the heading of this block. And the same thing we're going to do with the heading of the left side. Let's wrap this last updated label into h2 element and specify all these classes on this element like this. Let's continue working on the content of lesson blocks. We'll show the number of the lesson as well as its duration. And for now, I'm going to use random text as a title. Let's take a look at the result in the browser. I would like to make the color of those blocks with lessons gray, but the moment we'll hover over on them, the color will become a little darker. So let's make this block with lesson flexible container and align elements vertically by using class flexCol. The distance between elements will be 2 units. Then we're gonna add paddings from all sides, 4 units, round corners, and make background color gray, but on the hover state it will be gray with 200 shade like this. Then we're going to move the duration of the lesson to the very right side of this block. To do so, I'm gonna make this div element flexible container. The minimum space in between child elements will be 2 units, and just to make those child elements be positioned as far as possible from each other, I'll use justify between class. And let's use monospaced font. Let's also decrease font size for these elements. I'm gonna use text small class for that. And for this span element which holds duration of the lesson, I'm going to make font color lighter. Also, we can make the title a little bolder. Let's use font semi-bold class on the heading element. And to increase distance between the label which holds amount of lessons as well as the block with the list of lessons, I'm going to make parent element flexible container where elements will be vertically aligned and the distance between all those child elements will be 4 units. And just to see how all this is going to look like once we're gonna have more lessons, for now let's use for each loop in here and render 18 such blocks. And then I'm gonna use this I variable as a number of the lesson. And all this I'm doing temporarily for now because later on we're going to fetch all the lessons from the database. As you can see, there is no space between lesson blocks. Let's fix it by making parent element flexible container, and elements will be aligned vertically with a distance between every child elements of 4 units. And now this is looking better. Next, I would also like this block with meta information be sticked once we're gonna scroll the page. To do so, let's wrap the article element inside another div and assign sticky class to the article element, which is going to add CSS property position with a value of sticky. And let's stick this block at the top of the page by using top0 class. And as you can see, as I'm gonna be scrolling the page, the block with meta information will be visible, but we have to shift this block down from the top of the page. For example, let's use 24 units from the top of the page. And there we go, now this is looking much better. At the end, I'm going to assign target attribute to the link which leads to the repository of this project and use blank value, so this link will be opened in the separate tab. Let's try it out if this link works. I'm gonna click on it, and we are getting a separate tab opened with GitHub main page. At this point, let's finish this lesson